Please, not the human, she pleaded. He scares me more than war itself. Lieutenant Vec, reinforcements approved. Corporal Jonah Rook transfers to your platoon. Immediately. Sava's claws dug into the comms panel. Shells whistled overhead, shaking the trench wall. Her platoon huddled in the mud, ammo crates stacked haphazardly behind them. She stabbed the transmit button. Negative, Captain Tan. Any reinforcements except the human. Request Vlari engineers or Kresh gunners. Rook's file, irrelevant. Tan cut in. His voice crackled through plasma static. Rook arrives in 10. Use him. Hold the line. The link died. Sava yanked her helmet off, mandibles clicking in fury. Her Vlari squad stared from their positions. Sergeant. Kith Arrow wiped mud from his rifle, eyes narrow. Ma'am? Human? Arrow's voice held that edge, respect mixed with wariness. Sava slammed her helmet back on. Platoon, prep for resupply push. Corridor 2 is our only shot. Ignore the transfer. We move now. She trusted procedures. Logistics ran on routes, manifests, redundancies. Humans? Rumors called them Space Orcs. Or worse, unpredictable. Savage. Her old quartermaster post never dealt with them. Now promoted to this collapsing front, command dumped one on her. Explosions rocked the ridge. Enemy artillery zeroed the main supply path again. Shrapnel pinged off her armor. Sava checked her HUD. Convoy inbound. 5 minutes out. She waved the signal. Convoy. This is Vec. Reroute to Corridor 3. Under fire. Double time. The lead grav pallet hummed into view, loaded with power cells and med packs. Then the barrage hit. A shell detonated mid-air, flipping the pallet. It crashed into the trench lip, engines whining, cargo spilling. Cover! Sava dove behind a crate. Her squad scrambled. Aro fired his pulse rifle at shadows on the hill. Enemy spotters. The pallet sparked, half buried in dirt. Driver slumped over controls, alive but dazed. No time for evac. Supplies critical. Platoon down to hours of power. Sava crawled forward. Aro, suppress that ridge. Dr. Saul, check the driver. Rounds zipped past. She reached the pallet. Scanners beeping red. Grave coils ruptured. Frame buckled. Dead in the water. Then a shadow loomed. Human. Corporal Jonah Rook dropped from the trailing truck, duffel slung over one shoulder. He ignored the incoming fire, grabbed the pallet's edge, and heaved. Sava froze. Humans lifted 3 times Vlari mass. But under barrage, Rook dragged the wreck backward, muscles straining under his vac suit. Mud sucked at his boots. A shell burst 20 meters away, spraying grit. He didn't flinch, just kept pulling, inch by inch, until the pallet thudded into their trench. Secure that, Sava barked, shaking off paralysis. Her squad stared. Rook knelt by the wreck, toolkit out in seconds. Aro slid next to her, rifle up. He's mad, LT. Taking fire like it's rain. Dr. Saul patched the driver, her surgical arms a blur. Pulse steady. Get him aft. Sava's mind raced. Procedure demanded abandon damaged gear. Salvage. Later. But Rook pried open the coil housing, sparks flying. He yanked scorched wiring, scavenged from a nearby crate, shrapnel-torn ration packs, busted drone parts. Human, fall back! Sava yelled over the din. It's slagged. Rook glanced up, his face calm, eyes focused. No roar, no rage. Just a nod. On it, ma'am. He spliced cables with bare hands, insulated by thick gloves. Tested with a multimeter from his kit. Coils hummed back to life. Pallet lifted 6 inches, wobbled, then stabilized. Sava blinked. Her scanner updated. 87% function. He rebuilt it in minutes. Under fire. The rest of the convoy piled in behind. Loaders rushed crates. Rook stood, wiped hands on his thighs, and hefted 2 power cells like pillows. Carried them to the stack without a word. Aro lowered his rifle. Spirits. That's not normal. Focus, Sergeant. Sava snapped, but her voice wavered. The human slotted cells into their chargers. Platoon's power bar jumped to green. Incoming chatter spiked. Enemy infantry probed the ridge. Dozens closing fast. Sava keyed her comms. Captain Tan, this is Vec. Supply secured but front collapsing. Request immediate extraction. We can't hold. Static, then Tan's growl. Negative. Vec. Line breaks here, we lose the sector. No extraction. Assign Rook to frontline problem solving. Plug the holes. Captain, he's logistics now. Rook's your engineer. Use him. Ton out. Sava's mandibles clenched. Problem solving? Humans as weapons? She eyed Rook. He reloaded his rifle. Standard coalition issue. Check the pallet's final cargo. Demo charges. His domain. Platoon, form up, she ordered. Aro, left flank. Saul, triage station here. Rook, he was already moving. Grabbed a demo pack, jogged to the trench lip. Peered through scopes. Spotters at 300 meters bearing 040. Infantry trail. 200 strong. Sava's HUD confirmed. Her squad tensed. Vlari infantry held with precision fire, overlapping fields. But numbers overwhelmed. Rook, cover! A mortar round cratered nearby. He didn't duck. Slapped a beacon on the pallet, synced to his wrist pad. Ma'am? Pallets got thrust. Can ram their spotter nest. Buy us time. Insane. Procedure. Hold position. Call Artie. Their Artie was pinned. She hesitated. Fear coiled. Humans snapped, they said. Tore enemies apart. But he waited. Eyes on her. Do it, she said. Rook punched controls. Pallet roared up. Half-rebuilt engine straining. It barreled over the lip, straight into no man's land. Enemy fire shredded its sides. It plowed into the spotter team, exploding in a fireball. Artie silenced. Cheers erupted from the platoon. Aro whooped, firing into the stunned infantry. Sol glanced up from her patient, mandibles agape. Sava watched Rook drop to a knee. Rifle barking precise bursts. 2 enemies down. He advanced, methodical, like fixing a leak. Her fear cracked, not monster, mechanic, in chaos. But the infantry surged, hundreds now. Trench shook. Rook, fall back, she shouted. He waved once, dug in at a forward post, laying suppressing fire. His rounds chewed through their advance. Sava gripped her rifle. Platoon poured fire. They held. For now. Doctor, Saul sidled up. Lieutenant, vital stable across board. Humans not raging. He's working. Aro grinned through his visor. Told you, Doc. Competence. Sava nodded, pulse racing. Procedures saved supplies, but humans, they saved everything else. Another wave hit. Rook's position buckled. He radioed, voice steady. Breach at my 3. Need demo support. Sava's claws itched. Trust him. Platoon, on me. We plug it. They charged forward together. Rook looked up as she arrived, shared a nod. No words needed. Enemies poured in. Sava fired. Aro flanked. Saul dragged wounded clear. Rook wired a charge, scavenged from the pallet rack, and blew the entry point. Dust settled. Trench secure. Casualties light. Sava panted, staring at the human. He checked his gear, humble as ever, packed up like it was routine maintenance. Report, Corporal, she said. All good, ma'am. What's next? She smiled. First time that day. Front still collapsed elsewhere, but her platoon stood. Command's weapon worked, and it wasn't a monster. Incoming fire renewed. Worse. Tan's voice crackled. Vec, hold 1 hour. Reinforcements en route. 1 hour. With Rook. Sava raised her rifle. Platoon, you heard him. Let's give them hell. Plasma bolts scorched the trench wall inches from Sava's crest. She fired back, her rifle's recoil steady against her shoulder. The platoon poured disciplined volleys into the swirling dust. Rook knelt nearby, wiring another improvised charge from scavenged parts. Suppressing fire, left flank. Sava barked, her voice cut through the roar. Aro's squad shifted, lasers lancing out. Dr. Saul crouched behind them, scanning vitals on her wrist pad. Wounded holding, Lieutenant. No criticals yet. Rook glanced up, face calm under his scarred helmet. Dust caked his human skin, but his eyes stayed focused. Ma'am, that pallet's still out there? Ammo crates intact. 50 meters, dead ahead. Sava followed his gaze. The wrecked supply drop from the morning ambush sat in the kill zone, half buried in churned mud. Raider fire pinned it down. Her platoon chewed through rounds fast. Procedures demanded consolidation first. Hold lines, call resupply. Negative, Corporal. Stay behind the line. We'll cover from here. Rook nodded once. No argument. He slung his tool pack and stood. Sava's frills twitched. Rook, that's an order. He didn't break stride. Boots crunched forward straight into the open. Plasma zipped past his legs like angry wasps. He jogged, low and methodical, toward the pallet. Insane, Kithero muttered over comms. Humans berserking already. Sava's claws tightened on her rifle. Cover him! All squads, focused fire. The platoon unleashed hell. Bolts stitched the ground ahead of Rook, forcing raiders to duck. He reached the pallet unchallenged, dropped to a knee, and pried open a crate. Ammo belts spilled out. He loaded his pack, then dragged a second crate behind a crater. Sava's heart thundered. Humans charged like orcs from old vids, fearless, unstoppable. Rumors said they thrived on rage, tore enemies apart. What if he snapped here? Raider fire shifted. A squad burst from a side trench, 6 shadows in cloaked armor, grenades arcing toward Rook. Ambush! Rook! Fall back! Sava yelled. He didn't run. Rook dropped the crate, yanked a vibro knife from his belt, and charged, straight at them. Suppressive fire hosed his path. Bolts cratered the dirt at his feet. Sava froze. Her rifle barrel wavered. Procedure screamed, "Call Artie, hold position." But the human barreled through, eating distance like it was nothing. A bolt grazed his arm. He didn't flinch. Claws of fear gripped her chest. Monster. He'd slaughter them all, friend and foe. The raiders loosed a volley. Rook dove, rolled, came up inside grenade range. His rifle barked twice, point blank. First raider dropped, helmet cracked. Second swung a blade. Rook parried with his rifle stock, drove the vibro knife into the joint seal. Armor hissed open. Human shoved the corpse aside, pivoted. Third raider fired wild. Rook absorbed the hit on his chest plate, crackled but held, closed the gap. Head butted the visor. Crunch. Knife flashed again. Efficient slices through weak points. Throat vents. Power packs. No roar. No frenzy. Just work. Sava's squad poured fire, dropping 2 more. Last raider bolted. Rook's sidearm cracked once. Body tumbled. Silence fell, broken by distant booms. Rook stood amid the corpses, chest heaving slightly. Blood trickled from his arm graze. He wiped it. Sheathed the knife, then knelt by the fallen crate. Not rage, routine. A groan cut the air. One raider twitched. No, not raider. Coalition trooper pinned under debris from the exchange. Aro's flank man. Leg mangled. Rook dropped beside him. Easy, buddy. He pulled field bandages from his pack. Pressed them firm. Tourniquet cinched tight. Doc incoming. Hang on. Doctor? Saul sprinted out under cover fire, slid in. Vitals? She snapped, leg artery nicked. Stable now. Rook stepped back, handed her the scanner. Saul nodded, worked fast. Good field dressing. He'll keep the limb. Sava lowered her rifle. Claws shook. The human bandaged an enemy? No. Ally. But after that slaughter... Back in the trench, Rook hauled the crates over one shoulder like luggage. He distributed belts without a word. Platoon topped off. Conserve primaries. Aro slapped his back. Damn, Rook. You eat plasma for breakfast? Engineer habit, Sergeant. Fix the problem. Rook reloaded. Humble shrug. Sava watched, pulse slowing. Procedures would have waited for resupply. They'd be dry in minutes without this. She tapped her wrist pad, pulled up the misconduct form. Unauthorized advance. Endangerment. Her claw hovered over submit. Incoming fire rattled again. Her squad returned fire, ammo plentiful now. Minutes ticked. No dry clicks. She deleted the report. Unsent. Captain Tan's voice crackled. Vec, status? Holding, sir. Ammo secure. Casualties minimal. Excellent. Human performing? Sava glanced at Rook. He checked charges. Oblivious. Affirmative, Captain. Exceeding expectations. Tan grunted approval. Good. Press the advantage. Scout that breach. Understood. Sava keyed off. Fear lingered, but results screamed louder. Wave after wave hammered. Rook anticipated. He rigged trip mines from raider grenades, funneled them into kill boxes. Aro's infantry adapted, using human range pushes to reclaim ground. Saul patched wounds mid-fight, crediting Rook's preemptive meds. Sava directed from the lip, rifle hot. A raider heavy pushed forward, cannon chewing dirt. Rook! On it. He crawled forward under fire, planted a scavenged EMP puck. Cannon sputtered dead. Platoon swarmed it. Half-hour mark. Trench solid. Raiders faltered, but the front buckled elsewhere. Distant explosions rolled. Ton again. Vec extend hold. Reinforcements delayed 20. Sava's frills flattened. 20 more? Procedures said evacuate if untenable. But with Rook. Platoon, tighten up, she called. Rook radioed from forward. Ma'am, spotter drone up. Raider reserves massing 200 meters. Heavy armor. Fear spiked anew. Tanks. Her logistics mind raced. Evac routes, fallback caches. Aro growled. We can't. We can, Sava cut in. Trust the outcomes. Rook, demo plan? Already wiring, ma'am. Need your squad to bait him in. She swallowed. Aro. Soul. On Rook. I'll cover. They moved as one. Rook led, threading charges along the approach. Sava's heart pounded, but her shots stayed true. Raiders committed. Armor rumbled. Bait worked. Infantry poured after. Rook detonated. Ground erupted. Armor flipped. Infantry shredded. Dust cleared. Path open. Casualties, theirs, 0 new. Soul grinned through blood-streaked plates. Fear's a symptom, Lieutenant.
He's the cure.
Aro nodded. Never anger a human? Nah, never waste one. Sava exhaled. The human dusted off. Checked his gear. Humble, methodical. 1 hour ticked over. Reinforcements crested the ridge. Coalition heavies. Tan landed beside her. Impressive, Vec. Your unit's the anchor. Rook's anchors, sir. She met his gaze. Tan eyed the human, now repairing a squad's busted launcher. Weapons served well. Integrate fully. Aye, sir. As Tan lifted off, fire slackened. Platoon cheered. Sava approached Rook. Corporal, report.
All functional, ma'am.
He handed her a spare power cell. For your rifle. She took it. First time she'd touched human gear without gloves. Warm, solid. What's next? Raiders retreated, but scouts reported regroup. Front still crumbled sectors away. Sava raised her rifle. We advance. Secure the next line. Rook nodded. No monster. Partner. Plasma cracked anew. From behind enemy lines. Worse. A fresh assault. Bigger. Contact rear, Arrow yelled. Sava spun. Horde incoming. Raider elites with jump packs. Rook dropped to a knee. Unpacked his heavy kit. Ma'am, permission to counter? Her claws itched. Trust him. Granted. Give them hell, Corporal. He advanced into jump pack raiders, slammed into the dirt 20 meters out. Jonah Rook shouldered his plasma cutter, improvised cannon, and fired. The beam sliced 2 elites mid-leap. They crumpled, armor venting plasma. Savavek gripped her rifle. Her claws tightened on the stock. Aro? Flank left? Sergeant Kithero's squad poured fire from the berm. Bolts shredded the raiders' formation. Jonah advanced, cutter humming. He ducked a jump pack blast, rolled, and fired again. 3 more down. The human moved like he fixed pipes under fire. Calm. Precise. Reloading! Dr. Miri Soul yelled from the aid point. She slapped fresh cells into her squad's weapons. Raiders broke. Survivors jet-packed skyward, trailing smoke. Jonah lowered his cutter. Smoke curled from the barrel. He scanned the horizon. No pursuit. Sava exhaled. Heart still hammered. Status? All green, ma'am, Arrow reported. Human just painted the field red. Jonah wiped his faceplate, nodded once. Packed his kit. Captain Harold Tan's voice crackled over comms. Vec. Fronts folding 2 clicks east. Raider heavies punching through. Hold your sector or fall back to Rally Point Delta. Acknowledged. Sava checked her task display. Red icons swarmed the map. Her platoon marked the thin blue line. Logistics officer in combat command. Procedures screened retreat. Platoon, inspect trench line. Prep for withdrawal to secondary berm. They moved fast. Blast out. Sava led down the primary trench. Mud sucked at boots. Burn scars pitted the walls. Raider drones had hit hard last cycle. Wall breach here. A private reported. He poked a claw through a meter-wide gap. Sava peered out. Raider scouts probed the wire. Distant booms shook the ground. Heavies inbound. Confirmed. Position compromised. Fall back now. A secondary berm has cover. Groans rippled through the ranks. Aro spat. Ma'am, that's half a click under open sky. Orders. Sava's voice stayed firm. Procedures saved lives. Humans, rumors said they charged into hell. She glanced at Jonah. He knelt by a wrecked hover tank scanning damage. Platoon shuffled rearward. Carriers revved. Then Jonah stood. Ma'am, halt. Sava froze. All eyes turned. The human's voice cut quiet but steel hard. No shout. Just fact. Corporal? She stepped closer. Fear prickled her scales. What now? He pointed at the wrecks lining the trench. Smoldering tanks, drone husks, cargo haulers. Here. He dragged a claw across the dirt. Hardpoint. Channel fire. No retreat needed. Aro snorted. Human. That's scrap. Raider heavies vaporized scrap. Jonah met his gaze. No anger, just knelt again, prying a panel. Not if powered. Welded. We hold. Sava's mandibles clicked. Impossible. Logistics sims flagged wrecks as hazards, evacuate or burn. But his eyes, steady. Like he fixed starships daily. Time to impact? She asked. TAC says 8 mics, Saul reported. Blood still flecked her plates. Platoon hesitated. Jonah yanked a fusion coil from the tank. Sparks flew. He gestured to 2 privates. You. Lift front. There. They grabbed. Hesitated. Then heaved. Wreck shifted. Sava's claws itched. Trust procedures or him? Front crumbled elsewhere. Her unit. The anchor. Plan, Corporal. Quick. Jonah didn't pause. Pointed. Stack 3 tanks hull to hull. Flank with drone hulls. Weld seams with my cutter. Rear berm as fallback. Power cells from cargo. Juice the barricade fields. Fields? Rex had no emitters. Her mind raced. Last fuel cells. Emergency reserves. For retreat. Aro eyed the human. Crazy. But works if holds. Saul nodded. Outcomes over rumors, Lieutenant. Booms grew louder. Ground trembled. Sava checked fuel manifest. 12 cells left. All in bet. Authorized. Jonah, you're a lead. Reallocate my reserves. Power that barricade. Move! Platoon surged. Jonah directed like a conductor. Tank 1, center. Privates brace. Nettle groaned. They shoved the hover tank into position. Jonah's cutter whined, sealed hulls together. Sparks lit his visor. Sava hauled a drone husk. Heavy, slid at flank. Fuel cells here. Jonah caught the first crate, slotted cells into exposed bays. Wires sparked under his gloves. He jury-rigged conduits. Human knots no sim predicted. Blue energy fields flickered to life along the stack. Shields hummed. Enemy contact! Arrow bellowed. Raider heavies crested the ridge. Walker tanks, plasma lances glowing. Drones swarmed ahead. Incoming. Sava dropped behind the rising hardpoint. Bolts scorched air. Platoon fired. Beams lanced out. Jonah ignored the volley. Crawled under the stack. Welder flared. A shield node popped. Raider lance had cracked it. Cover him! Sava yelled. Her rifle barked. Dropped a drone. Aro's squad poured fire. 1 heavy staggered. Leg sheared. Jonah emerged. Grease-streaked. Node. Fixed. Hold. Heavies advanced. Lances belched plasma. The barricade shuddered. Shields flared, absorbing hits. Wreck metal glowed cherry red but held. Sava's display pinged. Shields at 60%. Fuel drain? Manageable, Jonah said. He unpacked demo charges. Flank drones. Breached their path. He lobbed charges. Explosions funneled raiders into kill zones. Platoon picked them off. A heavy's lance punched through a gap, shredded a private's leg. Soul dragged him back. Pressure's on. Jonah sprinted. Under fire. Dove into the wreck stack. Cutter screamed. Sealed the breach. Shields stabilized. Sava fired until barrel glowed. Her fear? Gone. Replaced by rhythm. Human fixed. They shot. He fixed again. Raiders hammered. Barricade smoked. 1 heavy closed lance charging point blank. Jonah! Sava warned. He popped up. Packed cutter like a rifle. Overcharged beam. Lance exploded in the walker's face. Beast toppled. Crushing drones. Cheers erupted. Aro whooped. Never waste a human. Shields hit 20%. Fuel cells whined. Last push. Jonah called. Concentrate heavies. Platoon focused. Beams converged. Second heavy buckled. Third retreated. Trailing fire. Raiders broke. Drones scattered. Heavies lumbered back over the ridge. Silence fell. Smoke rose from the hardpoint. Barricade stood, fort out of burning scrap. Sava lowered her rifle. Claws shook. Not fear. Awe. She'd called it lost. Jonah built salvation. Status? She asked. All functional, Jonah said. He checked a cell, handed her a spare, for backup. Warm, solid, no gloves needed. Sol bandaged the wounded. Fear's a symptom, Lieutenant. He's the cure. Aro clapped Jonah's shoulder. Human didn't flinch. Nodded. Comms crackled. Tan, Vec, report. Scouts say your sector held. How? Rook's hardpoint, sir. Sava watched Jonah weld final seams. Methodical. Humble. Understood. Rally reinforcements here. Raiders regrouping. Big push inbound. Aye. Sava raised her voice. Platoon, reinforce the fort. We hold. Jonah glanced up. No smile. Just ready. Enemy scouts probed again. Distant engines growled. Sava gripped her rifle. Position secure, thanks to human normal. Stack scrap. Fix under fire. Boom. Fresh volley. Jonah dropped to repairs. Here they come. Arrow yelled. Sava fired first shot, line intact. The fort burned brighter. Shields reignited. Jonah's work. Tan's heavies inbound, but raiders hit first. Jump packs darkened the sky. Jonah unpacked his heavy kit. Ma'am, fort's solid. Permission to thin 'em? Her claws steadied. Granted. Show them human engineering. He advanced to the barricade top. Cutter roared. Plasma cracked. Horde met fort. Sava's fear buried under resolve. Humans didn't rage. They built. Endured. Saved. One cell flickered low. Jonah swapped it mid-fire. Never stopped. Dr. Sol patched a gash. A plasma blast slammed the barricade. Jonah flew backward, crashing against twisted metal cover. His body hit with a thud that echoed through Sava's chest. Shrapnel pinged off shields. Smoke choked the air. Vac, Dr. Saf, Sol yelled from the triage nook. The medic scrambled over rubble, kit in claws. Sava's rifle barked twice, dropping a raider silhouette. Sol. Rook's hit. Sedate him, and a vac now. Jonah groaned. Pushed up on one arm. His left dangled limp, sleeve shredded, bone visible through torn flesh. Blood slicked the deck. Sol reached him first. Scanned with her med pad. Fractured humerus, internal bleeding. He's combat ineffective, Lieutenant. Sedation protocol. No. Jonah's voice cut through. Flat. He shook off her grip. Grabbed a roll of field tape from his belt. Tape it. I'll work. Sol froze. Her frills quivered. Human, you're flooding adrenaline. This ends in shock collapse. Jonah ignored her, wedged a scavenged strut under his elbow. Wrapped tape tight, layer after layer. Gritted teeth. No yell. Just motion. Arm immobilized in seconds. He tested it, flexed fingers, stood. Sava's claws tightened on her rifle. Raiders swarmed the breach line. Her platoon fired in bursts, but the fort's power flickered, shields dropping. Jonah's repairs held the line, barely. Rook, fall back, she ordered. He hefted his plasma cutter, one-armed, marched to the barricade. Power feed's severed, ma'am. Fix it or we lose everything. Sol grabbed his good arm. Lieutenant, enforce it. He's unfit. Jonah met Sava's eyes, no plea. Just fact. Job, first. Another volley rocked the fort. A squadmate screamed. Leg gone. Sava fired. Drop two. Her fear spiked. Humans broke. Rumors said they rampaged blind. But this, methodical madness. Go, she snapped. Aro, shadow him. Enforce safety. One wrong move, you drag him. Sergeant Arrow nodded sharp, slung his rifle. Fell in behind Jonah. You heard her, meet. I say stop. Jonah didn't glance back. Dropped to the exposed cable run. Sparks flew as he sliced damaged conduit. Arrow covered him, blasting a jumper raider mid-leap. Sava watched from command post. Her display showed power at 23%. Raiders massed, jump packs whining closer. Capt. Tan's voice crackled. Vec, hold. Heavies delayed. That human better earn his slot. She swallowed bile. Earn? He already had. But protocol screamed, evac. Her promotion to combat quartermaster meant procedure saved lives. Not this. Jonah crawled under live wires. One arm pinned his body. Cutter whined. He rerouted a bundle, taped junctions, sweat poured, blood seeped through his splint. RO growled. That's enough. Back! Cover left! Jonah barked. Raiders flanked. RO spun, hosed plasma. 2 down. Jonah kept cutting. Saul patched the legless squadmate nearby, glanced up. Lieutenant. His vitals crash soon. Fear's a symptom. Don't let it kill us all. Sava gripped her console. Power climbed. 41%. Jonah dragged a spare cell from the stack, the one he'd handed her earlier. Warm. Ready. He slotted it. One-handed twist. Feed surged. Raiders hit the wall. Claws scraped ferrocrete. Her platoon poured fire. Jonah welded the final seam. Rose. Handed her a crumpled checklist. Every repair ticked. Contingencies noted. Fort scream, ma'am. His voice rasped. Eyes steady. Then he collapsed. Folded like a cut puppet. Hit the deck hard! Rook. Sava lunged forward. Claws scrabbled for her calm. Soul. Now! The medic pounced. Injected stabilizer. Too late for gentle.
He's crashing. RO hauled debris aside.
Cleared space. Stubborn bastard. Held the line solo. Sava knelt. Checked the list. Power stable at 98%. Shields flared full. Barricade locked. Her fear twisted. Not rage, not monster. Just done. Raiders pulled back. Engines faded. Tan's heavies finally thrummed inbound. Saul stabilized Jonah. Hoisted him to evac sled. Told you, Job first. Sava stood, rifle up. Platoon cheered ragged. RO clapped her shoulder. Humans normal, LT. Saved our hides. She nodded. Claws steady. Procedures bent. Results stood. But scouts pinged. Raiders circling for megadrop. Bigger push. Fortify, she ordered. Rook's checklist. Execute it. They moved. Stacked scrap per his marks. Wired redundance. Soul hooked Jonah to monitors. He stirred, muttered, backup cell. Sava handed it over. His good hand took it. Squeezed once. Ready. Comms lit. Tan. Vec. Status? Holding firm, sir. Rook's work. Keep him breathing. He's our edge. Raiders darkened the sky again. Jump packs blotted stars. Megadrop inbound. Hundreds. Sava raised her voice. Positions. Human playbook. Arrow grinned. First time she'd seen it. You heard her. Build like hell. They stacked. Welded. Powered up. Jonah's fixes hummed. First wave hit. Plasma cracked. Shields held. His shields. Sava fired. Dropped 3. Her fear? Now. Human normal. Tape it, fix it, fight on. A raider breached left flank. Claws raked a trooper. Soul blasted it mid-stride. Jonah sat up, grabbed cutter. One arm, advanced anyway. Cover him! Sava yelled. RO laid fire. Jonah sliced the breach shut. Raider trapped. Plasma cooked it. Platoon pushed back. Line held. Tan's heavies slammed in. Cannons roared. Raiders shattered. Sava lowered rifle. Watched Jonah slump again. Saul dragged him back. Report, Tan demanded. Secure, sir. Casualties light. Rook's engineering. Pause. Understood. Promote protocols if needed. Human stays. Sava exhaled. Protocols? Jonah rewrote them. Scouts pinged final. Raiders routed. Fort stood. Her unit intact. Doctor, Soul bandaged Jonah's arm proper. See? Measure outcomes, Lieutenant. Sava nodded. Claws unclenched. Human. Not monster. Partner. But engines growled distant. Reinforcements? Or trap? Jonah's eyes opened. Perimeter sensors, ma'am. Checklist item 12. She checked. Already wiring them. Fear gone. Resolve burned. They built together. A shadow flickered on scopes. Not raiders. Something bigger. Captain. Sava keyed. Unknown. Inbound. Fast. Ton. Fortify. Human's turn. Jonah rose. Cutter ready. Sava gripped rifle. Human. Normal. Her new standard. Plasma whined. Horde returned. Elite guard. Shielded heavies. Here they come, RO yelled. Jonah dropped to kit. Forts solid. Permission to thin? Granted, Sava said. Voice steel. Show them. He climbed barricade. Cutter roared. One arm. Unstoppable. Raiders met hell. Shields popped. Lines broke. Sava fired beside him. No fear. Just fight. Doctor. Soul patched mid-battle. Outcomes, Lieutenant. Yes. Human outcomes. Fort burned bright. They held. One cell flickered. Jonah swapped it. Never stopped. Victory edged closer, thanks to tape. Grit. Human, normal. But the unknown shadow grew. Claws of dread returned. Not for Jonah. For what hunted them all. Plasma bolts scorched the barricade inches from Sava's crest. She ducked, claws scraping ferrocrete. The shadow on scopes resolved. Enemy heavies, shielded elites, pounding the fort's edge. Lieutenant Vec. Captain Tan's voice crackled over comms. Hold this line 2 hours. Reinforcements inbound. Bail, and the sector falls. Your humans' assets are authorized full release. Sava's vents hissed. 2 hours? Against that? Her platoon. 30 souls, low on cells, crates half empty. Jonah crouched nearby, swapping a power pack mid-fire. His cutter whined, slicing a raider's shield. Human normal. She keyed back. Understood, Captain. Holding. She spun to Jonah. Corporal Rook. Options. Now. Jonah lowered his cutter, eyes scanning scopes. No panic. Just assessment. He pulled a holopad from his kit, flicked it on. Terrain map bloomed. Fort, craters, ravines. Ma'am, we got supply crates, heat packs, sensor bait. Turn logistics to traps. Sava leaned in. His fingers danced. Red lines snaked across the map. Kill funnels. Crates stacked as blinds. Heat sources from ration packs to mimic engines. Bait them here. He tapped a choke point. Funnels channel them. Decoys draw fire. We hit flanks. Procedures said fortify static. This? Chaos weaponized, but scopes showed heavies massing. No choice. Show me build. Jonah nodded, grabbed 2 crates, dragged them to the perimeter, wedged heat packs inside, glowed like idling tanks, wired sensors to ping false signals. Squads bait from here, he pointed. Enemy commits, triggers mines under decoys, then we collapse. Sergeant Kith Arrow jogged up. Rifle hot. Lieutenant? Humans rigging junk? Approved. Sava snapped. Reroute your squad to bait point Alpha. Arrow, you lead. Arrow's spines bristled. Mistrust flickered, but he saluted. Yes, ma'am, if it works. Doctor, Saul patched a wounded trooper nearby. Measure outcomes, Sergeant. Not rumors. Jonah worked faster. Sava committed her stock. Last ration heaters, empty cells for flashbangs. Tape from repair kits. She hauled crates herself, stacking per his map. Claws trembled at first. Human habits. Improvise. Adapt. Monsters? No. Engineers of death. Decoys live, Jonah said. Heat bloomed on enemy scopes. False pings screamed. Vehicles massing. Enemy heavies charged. Shields hummed blue. Boots thundered dirt. Sava's heart pod raced. Firefight coming. She gripped. Rifle. Positions. Arrow's squad popped flares at Alpha. Drew first volley. Plasma rained. Crates erupted. Mines Jonah buried. Dirt geysered. 2 heavies flipped. Shields cracked. Flanks, Sava yelled. Her troops poured fire. Jonah's funnels worked. Enemy funneled tight. No escape. He climbed a barricade stack, cutter roaring, sliced a shield clean off. Raider inside shredded. A Sava fired beside him. Bolt hit knee joint. Down. Human beside her, unflinching. Plasma grazed his arm. He taped it mid-stride. Kept cutting. Enemy breached inner perimeter. Ilettes pushed through smoke. One charged Sava's line. She backpedaled. Rifle jammed. Overheat. Jonah lunged. Grabbed a decoy crate. Hurled it. Heat pack burst. Blinding flare. Elite staggered. Jonah's cutter ended it. One swing. Layer 2! He shouted. Perimeter sensors tripped. Buried charges. Supply tape rigged as tripwires. Detonated. Ravine collapsed under enemy rear. Heavies tumbled. Crushing their own. Arrow hooped from flank. It broke 'em. Human broke 'em. Sava's vents cleared. Fear ebbed. Jonah's normal, tape, crates, grit, shattered the horde. Momentum gone. Enemy pulled back. Shields flickering. Doctor. Sol dragged a casualty to cover. See, Lieutenant? Outcomes. 1 hour down. Scopes pinged, heavies regrouping but slower. Sava keyed comms. Captain, line holds. Traps engaged, human assets optimal. Ton grunted. Good, press if you can. Jonah dropped beside her. Cutter cooling. Perimeter secure, ma'am. Next layer? She nodded. Claws steady. Build it. Troops moved under her orders now. Aro clapped Jonah's shoulder, tentative respect. Sol nodded approval. But scopes flickered. Deeper shadow, not raiders. Coalition intel whispered. Enemy command ship dropping pods. Bigger threat inbound. Sava gripped rifle tighter. Jonah's eyes met hers. Calm, ready, human normal, her weapon now. Enemy pods screened down. Impact shook the fort. Fresh troops boiled out. Cyber augments, plasma lances gleaming. Here they come, Jonah said. He grabbed tape, eyed the new crates. Permission to adapt? Granted. Sava barked. Voice steel, no fear. Just resolve. Pods disgorged heavies twice the size. Augments whirred, lances charging. They smashed decoys aside, advanced relentless. Sava's platoon fired. Bolts sparked off armor. Casualties mounted. Aro took a graze, hissed, but held line. Jonah darted forward, no orders needed. He wired fresh heat packs to a crater rim. Bait glow. Taped sensors upside down for false depths. Draw 'em, Sava echoed. Aro's squad baited again. Augments charged funnels. Jonah triggered. Crate avalanche. Rigged with cells. Buried the lead wave. Lances fired wild. One clipped Sava's pauldron. Burned. She rolled. Fired back. Hit optic. Augment blinded. Jonah beside her. Cutter carved leg servos. Machine toppled. Keep funnel tight. They did. Traps layered deeper now. Tape held charges firm. Heat tricked scopes. Enemy committed blind. Dr. Sol yelled over din. Wounded piling, but we're thinning 'em. Saba checked chrono. 90 minutes. Sector held. Thanks to crates. Tape. Human normal. Aro flanked a straggler. Rifle burst a core. Never anger humans, eh? Grin split his muzzle. Last augment fell. Pods smoked. Husks. Line held. Tan's voice. 1 hour left, Vec. Unknown inbound. Queen cast reported. Fortify core. Sava's spines rose. Queen, hive mother. Spawning endless. Jonah already mapped it. Crates to barricade core. Heat to overload her vents. Fear tried to claw back. She crushed it. Jonah. Core plan. He nodded. Humble. Methodical. On it, ma'am. Pods rained again. Queen's shadow loomed. Sava raised rifle. Together, they built. Enemy breached outer. Queen roared. Psychic wave buckled troopers. Sava staggered. Mind assaulted. Jonah taped a heat decoy to her crate stack. Ignored the wave. Worked. Resist. Sol patched mines. Injectors ready. Aro rallied.
For the fort.
Queen smashed in. Massive spawning drones mid-stride. Lances swept. Sava fired. Jonah's cutter met drone swarm. Blades whirled. Drones parted. Traps sprung. Core crates detonated. Overloaded cells. Queen vents ignited. She shrieked. Spawning choked. They poured fire. Jonah taped her legs. Immobile. Cutter to underbelly. Queen thrashed. Fell. Silence. 2 hours. Sector saved. Troops cheered. Aro gripped Jonah's arm. Partner. Sol smiled. Outcomes. Sava exhaled. Human. Not monster. Savior. But scopes pinged final. Fleet inbound. Not theirs. Trap sealed. Jonah rose. Evac plan, ma'am. Her new standard. Together. Enemy Vox crackled across all channels. Coalition remnants. Surrender your position. Deliver the human abomination, Koppel. Rook, or we glass the sector. Sava's spines locked rigid. She gripped her console in the core bunker, screens flickering with inbound signatures. Queen dead, but now this. Hive fleet massing. Her platoon stared at the broadcast. Captain Ton's voice barked from command net. Vec. Respond. Hold the line. Sava slammed the open channel. Jonah crouched nearby, silent. sliding fresh power cells into his harness. He didn't flinch at the demand, just worked. Negative, Sava transmitted, voice steady despite the coil in her gut. We hold, no terms. Laughter echoed back, distorted by static. Your commander cowers. The human berserker ends this. Send him, or die. Jonah glanced up. His eyes met hers. Calm, waiting. He patted his multi-tool, then reached for her squad's lance rifles. One by one, he thumbed safeties, checked charge levels, stacked them neat beside her. Alien weapons, finicky with our gels. He knew, fixed them without ask. Sava's tendrils twitched. Rumors said humans raged blind in combat. But this, methodical, like tuning a supply drone. Pods screamed inbound. Ground shook. Breach alarms wailed. Shock assault! Arrow yelled. Squad scrambling to slits. Sava's scopes lit red. Enemy lancers poured through the outer rim, carapaces gleaming under flare light. Their forward beacon pulsed. Comm relay, calling more. Tan's order cut in. Vec, counterpush. Use the human. Fear spiked Sava's veins. Hand him over? No, he'd saved them thrice now. Queen gutted by his traps. But led, through that, pods cratered the line. Drones swarmed, psychic stings lancing minds. Troopers buckled, clutching heads. Jonah stood, grabbed his cutter. Plasma torch on steroids, and a brace of grenades. Ma'am, breach vector. I take point. Sava hesitated. Procedures screamed hold position. Logistics not assault, but his voice, quiet certainty. No roar, no rage. Arrow with him. She snapped. Sol, cover fire. Push. Arrow slung his repeater, eyed Jonah wary. Human leads? Fine. Results. They charged. Sava manned the heavy lance from the bunker lip, sighting through dust. Jonah moved first, low, scanning rubble. He waved Arrow's squad left, then right. Flawless signals, even with our mandible clicks. Enemy drones spotted them. Stingers fired. Jonah rolled, cutter flashing. Sliced a drone mid-leap. Icor sprang. He taped a charge to its husk, hurled it back. Boom gap cleared. Sava's spines eased a fraction. Not berserk. Precise. Arrow's squad poured fire. Lances chewed drones. But the beacon loomed, shielded by heavies, queen-spawn brutes, armored thick. Jonah didn't slow. He ducked a stinger volley, yanked a crate from their barricade. Enemy supply. Volatile cells, wedged it under a heavy's tread. Cutter sparked the fuse. Beast reared, exploded from within. Beacon path clear, Jonah voxed, voice even. Sava poured suppressing fire. Her lance overheated, but Sol swapped cells. Human taught trick. Faster seal. Enemy pushed back. More drones. Psychic waves rippling. Arrow staggered. Repeater dropping. Mind burn. Jonah grabbed the weapon. No pause. Fired full auto. Cutter in offhand bisecting a drone. Shake it. Focus fire. Arrow blinked. Snatched it back. Nodded sharp. On you. They closed the beacon. Jonah vaulted the shield, cutter whining through relays. Sparks flew. Enemy comms staticked. Cut. Hive assault faltered. Drones milled, leaderless. Retreat horns blared. Sava's platoon cheered from slits. But scopes pinged worse. Fleet breaking atmo. Drop pods raining thick. Tan's voice. Vec, report. Beacon captured. Comm severed, Sava transmitted. Pride swelled. Unbidden. Jonah's doing. Good, but Queen was bait. Main force lands core side. Fortify evac. Jonah jogged back, cutter smoking. Blood his, smeared one arm, ignored it. Ma'am, fleet vectors. They flank east vent. Rig collapse? Sava stared. East vent. Her logistics map, weak point. Procedure ignored in panic. He saw it, fixed it. Do it, she said. He nodded. Humble. Grabbed crates. Alien gels. Human tape. Built fast. Choke points laced with cells. Pods hammered closer. Enemy commander voxed again. Human. You delay death. Surrender now. Sava opened channel. He stays. We fight. Laughter died. Static. Arrow clapped Jonah's shoulder. Never anger humans, eh? Saved my squad. Sol patched a trooper, glanced over. Fears the wound, Sava. Outcomes heal. Sava gripped her rifle. Jonah worked beside her, checking her lance safety. Again, assault wave hit. Drones breached east. Jonah triggered collapse, vent caved, burying dozens. Is trap, but heavies punched through west. Psychic Queen echo, larva cast, mind lashing, troopers dropped. Sava's vision blurred, spines screaming. Jonah shoved her down. Cover! Cutter whirled, parting drones. He dragged a fallen repeater to her. Breathe steady, fire through it. She did. Wave broke on his blades. Normal. To him, battlefield repair. Aro rallied flank. Push! Humans got core! They held. Fleet pods smoked the rim. But comms dead. No cords. Enemy milled. Tan voxed triumph. Evac inbound 5 mics. Sava exhaled. Jonah taped a final charge. Humble eyes met hers. Together, ma'am? She nodded. No fear. Trust. Pods thundered final wave. Larva queen smashed barricade. Smaller, but spawning fast. Psychic howl buckled soul. Jonah ignored it. Yanked heat vents from crates. Queen weak point. Taped overloads. Flank her legs, he called. Sava fired. Aro's repeater chewed. Drones spawned. Larva shrieked. Immobile. Jonah's cutter plunged. Underbelly split. She thrashed once. Fell. Silence. Cheers erupted. Evac shuttles screamed in. Ramps dropped. Tan strode out first. Gripped Sava's arm. Vec. You led well. Human proves. But scopes pinged anew. Enemy command ship decloaked. Queen Mother True massive. Sava's spines rose. Jonah already mapped. Ma'am. Ship vents. Same play? Her call. Together. Shuttles thrummed on hot tarmac. Sava keyed her vox. Voice steady despite trembling spines. Captain Tan. Lieutenant Vec reporting. Casualties. 12 KIA. 8 wounded. Larva queen neutralized. Core held. Tan's mandibles clicked approval over the link. Numbers lower than projected, Vec. Explain. Corporal Rook's methods, sir. Sava glanced at Jonah. He taped a final barricade patch, ignoring the chaos of loading stretchers. Traps diverted heavies west. Vents overloaded the queen. His playbook. Static hissed. Then higher command broke in. Colonel's timber, cold and probing. Vec. This playbook. Human doctrine. Full debrief. Transmit all data now, every step. Sava's spines prickled. Fleet brass never demanded logs mid-evac. Jonah's normal rewrote their collapse into a hold. She patched her datapad feed, trap diagrams, vent schematics, spawn timings he'd scrawled mid-fight. Acknowledged, the colonel snapped. Human attached. Isolate protocols. We adapt or fracture. Ramps whined shut. Shuttles lifted, weaving through decloaked enemy fire. Jonah slumped beside her in the hold, cutter sheathed across knees. Aro clapped his shoulder, rare touch from the sergeant. Soul patched a trooper's gash, eyes flicking to the human. Outstanding, Rook, Tan said, mandibles wide. You turned scrap into salvation. Jonah shrugged, wiping drone ichor from his gloves. Just fixes, sir. Battlefield's a busted engine. He pulled a battered flex sheet from his vest, held it out to Sava. Ma'am, wrote this downtime. Checklists might help. She took it. 10 pages, hand-scrawled in crisp galactic standard. Human field repairs. Bugs to queens. Steps boiled chaos to sequence. Assess breach. Rig diversions. Target vents. No fluff. No boasts. Why give this? She asked. He met her eyes, calm as ever. You led the fire, ma'am. We sink or die. Read it. Train on it. Sava nodded, spines easing. Not monster. Mechanic. Her fear, procedure's ghost. Shuttle banked into fleet formation. Tonvoxed orders. Regroup at relay point Bravo. Fronts folding elsewhere. Reconstitute platoon. Vec. Integrate human tactics. Back aboard the frigate, Sava gathered her core in the armory bay. Aro sharpened his repeater blade. Saul inventoried stimpaks. Jonah coiled demo charges nearby. Silent. Sergeant Aro. Dr. Saul. Sava spread Jonah's flex sheet on the crate. New training. Mixed species. Built on this. Aro's crest flared skepticism. Human scribbles? We held ridges before his kind dropped in. Saul leaned in, spines neutral. Outcome, Sergeant. He patched what psychic lash broke. Fears the wound. Measure by results. Sava tapped the sheet. Checklists first. Trap rigs, crates as bait, charges on timers, vents next. Queen weak points. Every cast. We drill now.
Jonah demos.
He stepped up without prompt. Grab scrap plasteel. Demo cord. Flank breach here. He wedged a charge. Diversion pulls heavies. You cover core. Cutter word. Slice. Tape. Test.
5 minutes. Flawless.
Aro grunted, testing the rig. Stable. My flankers run this? Affirm. Sava said. Your infantry leads push. Sol times medevac sync. Jonah repairs live. Sock nodded. Psychic resistance drill. Breathe his pattern. Steady fire through lash. They ran it twice. Aro's squad synced blades to charges. Sol called vitals mid-sim. Jonah adjusted on fly. No egos. Just tweaks. Sava's spine settled. Procedures bent, didn't break. Jonah's normal meshed their strengths. Alien precision. Human grit. Again, Aro barked. Faster. Alarms blared. Red strobes lit the bay. Coalition alert! Front breach. Sector 9. Larva swarms inbound. Platoon to dropships! Hold the line! Trooper scrambled. Sava grabbed her repeater. Jonah shouldered his kit. Cutter ready. She fell in beside him at the ramp. No hiding in logistics bay this time. Shoulder to shoulder. Dropship slammed dirt 5 clicks from the collapse. Smoke choked the air. Drones skittered over rubble. Psychic hum building. Aro's squad fanned left, blades humming. Sol dropped med post behind a crater. Tanvoxed. Vec, core securement yours. Human unleashes. Sava ignored the jab. Jonah. Checklist 1. Assess. He scanned scopes. Fingers flying. West heavies punching. Queen Echo at 200 meters. Spawning fast. Vents exposed. He yanked crate vents. Taped overloads. Same play. Ma'am? She nodded. Repeater up. Aro. Flank her legs. Sol. Lash countermeasures. Drones boiled over the ridge. Psychic wave hit. Sava's vision grayed, spines locked. Jonah's voice cut through. Breathe steady. Fire through it. She squeezed trigger. Bolts chewed drones. Aro roared. Repeater barking. Sol injected herself. Rallied wounded. Outcomes. Push. Queen Echo thrashed into view. Bulbous lashing mines. Jonah hurled rigged vents. Now, they detonated. Queen shrieked, legs buckling. Sava poured fire. Jonah charged, cutter plunging underbelly. Split wide. Silence crashed, but scopes pinged. More swarms. Heavier shadows loomed. Queen Mother's vanguard. Tanvoxed urgency. Hold. Reinforcements 10 mics. Sava reloaded beside Jonah. His humble eyes met hers again. No fear. Just next fix. Ma'am, he said. Ship scale vents next. Your call. She gripped her repeater tighter. Spine straight. Together, but teach me your rhythm first. His nod sealed it. Not spared from the human. Working like one.